Alright, what's up, guys? Today we are going to be making a Clams Casino beat. He's one of my favorite artists, honestly. He's made beats for The Weeknd, Mac Miller, and obviously ASAP Rocky. Um, for me to start off to make a Clams Casino beat, I need to know what type of sample to use. Now, a lot of his music, he samples a woman named Imogen Heap. She is from England and she is a pop artist, kind of like electronic music, so to speak. And she was popular in the early 2000s, early 2010s. But I found this one sample just for now by her, and I think it has a lot of room, a lot of potential. Um, and you're gonna be like, Michael, I've heard this shit before. I've heard this sample used. Well, yeah, because is actually used in one of A$AP Rocky's songs. So I'll go ahead and play that for you right now and, just get some ideas on how I made that beat you just listened to.
Just for now, 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 just for now. It's that time of year. Leave all our hopelessnesses aside. Just for now.
Really good song alone and really good sample to use. Now, there's also this one right here. I don't know if you can see it says Headlock by her. That was also used in an A$AP Rocky song. Um, but yeah, we basically I take this I'm gonna take this sample right here and I'm gonna put it in my FL Studio. And um, honestly, for this, I use FL Sample just because I can chop easier. I have Serato Sample, but I just like using FL Sample to do his chops. Which his chops, they make a certain rhythm to it. It's like na 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 na, and then it goes higher, lower, medium. You'll see what I mean. And for the BPM, I settled at 130 just because I looked it up, and his BPMs, they bounce around for A$AP Rocky at like 117, 140. So I wanted like that sweet spot, so I did 130. And so this right here, this is a sample I put in FL Sample. Open up the piano roll for you. This is kind of what we're working with. Um, I'll play it for you guys. See if I cooked or not. Play that one more time for you guys. I think that's a really good sample chop. Um, what I basically did is after that, I will right click sample, and it should say quick render as audio clip. Excuse me. So I made it an audio wave, which is a lot easier to play with the pitch, play with different properties of the sound. So it's kind of what we did here. Um, Smush it together, kind of like so. And then one thing I do is I play it over again just to make sure it's all one clean loop. So it's one clean loop, thank goodness. So I'll open up the mixer right here. That's gonna be this button right here. And I have it loaded right here. The mix down I basically did was I put a reverb on it. I just did like, I think I did like Big Hall or something like that. And then I turned down the wetness of it, played with these buttons a little bit, and and then I went to parametric EQ. And first off, I wanted to do a high pass and get rid of like that bass sound, make it more airy and like dreamy almost. Because we are trying to make cloud rap, and cloud rap really popped off in 2016 and like 2017, a little bit of 2018, and basically to make that, you want to make everything airy, you want to make everything dreamy, because the biggest part of cloud rap is to invoke emotion, invoke um, kind of just like you're in a cloud almost, hence cloud rap. So, and then I boosted up the high a little bit just to get that high of the sample, and then um, turn this down just to get rid of the muddiness that was right here, and that's how I ended up with this. That's this is it without the mixing. As you can see, kind of loud, kind of annoying. It's very one-dimensional. This is it with it. Very nice. So now we're on to the drums. The drums of Clam Casino are all kind of like not the same, but they have that same like pattern almost. I'm gonna fix my camera real quick, just so it's a little bit more even. There we go. All right, so the kick and snare. Now, when I listen to his music, it sounds like a or like a kick snare, kick snare, something like that. I'm gonna play two things for you guys, just for you guys to hear that too. One of them's "I'm God" by Clams Casino. That's like the same drum I was trying to mimic in my mic. Another one is going to be "I Smoke Away My Brain." I believe this is the same sample we're using. Hard to tell because he did it so well.
Test you, a rebel to my death is in my flesh, is in my vessels. Fuck the click you with, I'm finna fuck the bitch you next to. Fuck a metrosexual.
So as you can see, the kick and snare, very basic. Less is more in this type of genre. So this is kind of what I did for my kick. Play that one more time for you guys. And go over the mixer here. I have my kick all organized right here. Same thing. Kind of just put a EQ on there. Got rid of some of the muddiness in the middle body. Turned down a little bit right here, just so it doesn't come off as harsh. And then just a little bit of soft clipper. Not much, just a little bit. And this is it without my mixing. This is it with my mixing. Again, not too much of a difference, but it's enough. It's enough to hear it when the whole song comes together. The next thing you want to add to that is your snare. Now, don't be afraid to layer your music when it comes to drums. Like sometimes layering can really make your drums not only sound more like roomy, more of a crunch, more of a hit to it, but it's also just good practice because a lot of people who produce, when they make their drums, they kind of make it one dimensional. Like they just put like a kick and snare and they're done. for this type of genre, you want to layer it just so it has different sounds. So when someone's listening, they who really listens and are a proactive listener, they can hear the different things you got going on. So I did one snare, um, another snare, a rim, and a clap. Now this is what it sounds like with the kick and the snare together. Very good. Um, Open up the mixer here. This is it without my mixing. Again, it already sounds pretty good, but I wanted that ambience, kind of like make it like three-dimensional, so. Might even turn up that reverb a little bit. Pretty good. And then the next thing you want to add is obviously the open hat. Now he works mostly with snare and drum. I mean kick, sorry, kick and snare. But sometimes in his music you'll hear like an open hi hat. So go ahead and throw that one in there too. And that kind of like adds like another rhythm to it, in my opinion. Like it just adds like a second like type of deal going on. I'm gonna fix my computer real quick. It's tripping out. Alright, we're good. So yeah, so right now we got the kick, snare, clap, rim, and the open hi-hat, along with our sample here. So all you really gotta add next is the 808. Actually, I got a funny story with this one. For this 808, this baby right here, the SSL EV2. Back when I worked at the mall, I worked at Zoomies at one point, and these two dudes came in, and they were like, they looked out of town, you know. I'm from Ohio, so you can kind of tell when someone's like a little different, like they're there for something. And I asked them, what their plans are and stuff, and they're like, oh, we're going to a studio. And as a producer, especially like underground, like someone who just doesn't have many connections at that point, it was really exciting because I'd never been to a studio before. Like I always seen pictures, I've seen videos, but I never actually been to a studio. So, yeah, I was there, and these two dudes ended up being really big. Like they were like, one of them was a producer for Jack Harlow and Young Thug. The other one I read up was on XXL magazine. Somewhere on the internet I found that out. But the producer, his name was Greg De Niro. His music's really good. Like how he produces and DJs and stuff. But I was in there listening to his stuff, and in a studio, like it's different from your like in your room, like in a studio, like every sound you can hear. And when that bass kicked in that studio, like my third eye opened. I was like, yo, what you use for that? I was like, that sounds really good. And he put me onto this right here. Specifically solid bold bass or bass on the presets. And all I did was kind of turn up the mic a little bit, turn up the line a little bit. This I kind of mess with, but all of this stuff I'm still yet figuring out. But this stuff sounds really good. I'll show you the difference here. This is my 808 without that preset. Again, it's just an 808, but with this, it kind of makes it like bold. very good stuff right there. So yeah, now that I showed you, the sample, open hat, snare, kick, 808. I'll show you basically the beat I made that you listen to um, before I walked you through. This is kind of all of it together. Overall, that's how you pretty much make a Clams Casino beat. If you guys want to see more videos like this or just see me make beats, just let me know. I'll put my socials up here somewhere. Follow me on TikTok. That's where I post a lot of like just different clips of me, sample work and all that stuff. If you're in Ohio and you're looking for a Discord to network and help, build your music in Ohio, Cleveland, Columbus, Cincy, Akron, join it. Yeah, we have different members in there from Ohio right now, and we're just trying to build like a little community. So yeah, thank you for watching, and that's how you make a Clams Casino beat.